Are streaming.
Ready, Freddies? We are Yoney.
1, 2, 3.
Look for something sweet, get a taste for you. But I'm thirsty, you've got the tank, so the lemon down. Yeah. I feel you that you know it, you've seen it right. Got them sides, quick milestones go down out here. You gotta take the long way around side. I don't know if my hand ain't right. Or do you think the sweating will be down to nice? But I found you that morning, and no way to go nights. I stood there in the pouring rain, and it's over to the pines. I found you that morning, I know it wasn't right.
You know, here at Live from the Dutch Hall, week after week we get together and we invite in some of the greatest Canadian talent that we have to offer this country and the world. And now, on Canada Day, approaching our country's big birthday,
Almost there.
it seems like it would be a shame if we didn't invite some of the biggest and the brightest stars that we have to offer in our little neck of the woods here in Canada. And tonight, we got Yoney from Brantford. They came all the way down. Well, there's only one way we can talk to these people.
How's that, Peter?
We gotta do a thing we do on the Dutch Hall called the theme song, Michael.
Okay.
And it goes like this. Welcome everybody to Live from the Dutch Hall. We are Canada's only late-night talk show and the greatest podcast ever to come out of a pool shed in Pine Grove, Ontario, bar none.
Damn right.
And I believe we are that way because we have the greatest band in Canadian late-night history, the Nocturnal Emissions. Comprised this week of not only our traditional Nocturnal Emissions, but we have created a super group of Yoney plus the Nocturnal Emissions, consisting this week of Michael Bow, our band leader, on rhythm and vocals.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
We have the man that writes the music for the show, Big Cockhead himself. Dave the Rooster Charters is here. And beside him in the corner, he is Steve, the sad and reluctant German.
Hi-yo.
Because your team is miserably out.
Suck it, Germany.
And beside him, of course, is the balls of the Nocturnal Emissions, a crowd favorite and really one of my favorites. He's in the top 2 for sure. Week to week it changes. Whiskey Wes Hagens is here, everyone. And we're happy to welcome back to the show a longtime friend. Dylan Cunningham is here, everyone. And on drums, replacing the French tickler. He's also well known to the show. He's been here in many forms before. It's Coast everyone. And tickling the keys. She's a two-time visitor here of Live from the Dutch Hall. Sydney Solozo, everyone. Woo. And making his first appearance on Live from the Dutch Hall, he is the Dutch Hall Virgin on bass. Jake McGuinn, everyone.
Hey, yay.
And our director has lost 200 pounds.
Temporarily. He's been working hard.
Yeah, he's been working hard.
Sweating it out.
It's Derek, the Beaver Van Houten, on director duties tonight.
Woo.
And there's our CRTC required Frenchman in the corner, making it sound nice, doing the things he does. It's the French tickler, Cavalante.
Yeah. Bonjour.
And me, I'm your host.
Introducing
Put it on me.
live tonight from the Dutch Hall. Two-time President's Choice Club Award winner, Pete Van Dyke.
Hey. Good job, Tickler.
Wow. That was really something.
Yeah.
That was a heavy intro. Pretty good.
Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah, what do you mean?
That's how you do it.
We're
Yeah,
in.
that is how you do's it. You do's it right up like
Nailed
that.
it. Well done.
Well done, Yoney.
Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Yeah, just let's do it.
That's how we.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. And it's always that week. Every week it seems to become more like that. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. I think we kind of like. I don't know if we have to like become re-energized by it or work harder, or if it's better. Because sometimes we'll work harder at it, and then people will tell us with feedback.
Slow one.
Early one. I want to get
See that coming.
people tell us that they don't ever change. They go, don't ever change. You're going to lose if you make your show good, it's going to ruin the show. That's got to be
organized.
It's got to be crappy. And the only way to keep it crappy. Last week I prepared for a show. I have notes. I had
A whole page full.
I have a page of notes here, like these
Scratch
little
pad.
whatever. That's notes for me. And then we had like 7 things to talk about. We talked about none of them. None of them last week, not one.
That makes sense.
And I assume this week will be the same thing. Because now we have 4 new people in here. And I don't know what you guys are going to talk about. Like, what's in your mind? What's like, what keeps you up at night?
I don't want to talk about how pissed off I am, so I'm going to let someone take it.
Well, you having a bad day? Wes says he's had a bad day,
Fuck.
too.
Yo, have you had a bad day?
Wes.
Just nod your head.
No? It's a long day?
No, he's had a good day.
A long day.
Long day.
You've had a bad one.
I've had a bad week.
Week, why?
It's just been fucking busy.
All right, let's hear it.
Busy's
No,
good, though.
I'm not here to fucking vent. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, you
I
did.
ain't here to vent. I'm not here to vent.
If you weren't here, if you didn't want an event, you shouldn't have brought it up in the
I
first
guess
place.
I shouldn't have.
You know,
Should I go lay down real quick? Hey, so
Get on the
my
couch.
uncle.
Oh, is it
I'm just
personal?
playing. No, I'm just playing. No, it's just been long. A lot of work. When you're a fucking musician, you gotta hustle, and it gets a little fucking silly at times. That's all I'm saying.
Well, actually, this leads me to something that isn't about your problems, but it is something to help your problems, because I have to promote your gig coming up on July 1st.
That helps.
Canada
Because
Day.
Pay the bills, people.
we will forget it. So some people on Canada Day, like myself, I will be having a party. Mike, are you having a party this year too?
Yeah, tradition.
Yeah, tradition. Mike does a party for himself as well. And you guys don't have the luxury of being able to have a party. You
Oh,
have
no,
to
no.
be the party.
We're having a fucking
Yeah.
party.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Right?
We're having it and we are it.
You are
we
it
happen
and
to
you're
be,
having it?
We happen to be the entertainment, but we're having a fucking party.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it?
2 doors down, Market Street, Brantford.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you the postal code, but I don't fucking know.
And what's
Corner
up?
of Market in Chatham is
There
about
you
as
go.
close as I can get.
N3Y 4K5.
Yeah, go there.
No, that's
Oh,
not
wait.
that. That's not
That was my old postal code.
That's a Simcoe one, Dave.
Yeah, N3Y, I know that one.
Actually,
wait.
4K5. That's
Wait a minute. How the fuck do you know my postal code?
Never mind.
All right, that's cool.
that was your postal code
I'm
growing
not
up, right? Because that was
fucking
my
kidding.
postal code, my old.
That was
place.
my postal code on Charlottesville Road 7, you scumbag. Was that you sending me that doo-doo in the mail?
How? Oh,
He
it
liked
is really. That is really remarkable. You say that
It's pretty
because
incredible.
there's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about later on in the show as part of our feedback segment. That has to do with shit fighting and stuff, like dropping poop off at a doorstep.
Yeah, the challenge, the gauntlet has been thrown.
Who did I throw it at? I forget. I drank a lot last
It
week.
was just a general toss
General toss at anyone?
or shit.
Oh yeah.
Mostly your neighbor across the street.
Yeah.
Oh, I was aiming it at. Well, we're gonna have the. Oh, I would never do that to him. That was just a drunken me being me trying it for the laugh.
That's right.
Are you feuding?
No, I love my
Oh, it's
neighbor.
not one of those things?
No, I love all my neighbors, but I don't know how. Sometimes I say things on the show and I forget I say them, and then people tell me I said it
Oh, fuck.
because they remember it because they listen to the show and expect the things I say to be like things I did on purpose.
God damn it. You only had no listeners.
Yeah. They're like, no, you remember you said you'd rub your tits on your wife's roast beef? I'm like, what?
Yeah, that came out.
That's a real thing I said? And they're like, yeah.
Did you-
The herbs
wait.
were key.
The herbs.
Did you get that in the wrong order? Are we rubbing roast beef on tits, or we're rubbing tits on roast beef? What the fuck
No,
is happening?
I put herbs on my
first
boobs,
olive oil.
right?
Don't forget the
first
olive
oil.
Good call.
And then I mush the herbs into the olive oil on my chest so that it
Moosh.
can,
You moosh
You moosh them.
release the natural oils of the herbs.
The
aromatics.
toxins.
Yeah, the aromatics.
Yeah.
And then I motorboat my roast beef. I just motorboat it, which is something I didn't get to do when I was a younger man. But now that I'm getting to be an older gentleman, I can really motorboat. The boobs are growing in.
They're flipping.
I always
they're
thought
flopping.
They're omnidirectional.
Yeah.
I always thought a motorboat was something that you received, not that you gave.
Huh?
Like, I thought the motorboat, like,
Oh, the person that was putting his
yeah, like
face
the
in.
roast beef would be motorboating you.
So the roast beef can really motorboat these
So
days.
wait, are you
Am I right? Am
Wait,
I right?
is it
Yeah,
like
no,
Is that what
I think
everyone
that's
thinks?
Hang on, no, that's untrue. No, you're fucked. Okay, first of all, you give a blowjob, you give a motorboat. You receive a blowjob, you receive a motorboat. Do you see? It's an act. It goes both ways.
You can be motorboated and you can
motorboat. To motorboat is a thing. To blowjob, I guess that's not really a thing,
If,
but to give
To
a
blow?
blowjob, to blow or to suck.
But I was saying like a
Yeah,
motorboat.
I agree. I'm just saying Pete would be getting the motorboat.
Why? Because I'm making the noise?
Wait.
because
Whoa,
you're
wait.
the chest,
you're saying
right?
Yeah, the chest is.
The chest is
getting
the
chest is
the roast
receiving.
beef is getting. Oh, I guess you're.
no, yeah,
The
because
roast beef's getting
There is-
motorboat.
you're
No,
gonna
the
motorboat
roast
something.
beef is
You want to like
motorboating
motorboat?
you.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess you're right.
No.
There is no
I'm
motor.
sorry,
There
So
Charlie.
if
is
someone
no
says they want to
motor.
motorboat something, it's their face in it, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
the whole point.
How dare I? How
Okay,
dare
let me just do this. Let me do this example, okay? I'll say it to my wife so it's not creepy. Jane, I would like to motorboat you, right? Right?
Right.
That makes sense. No one would disagrry with that statement.
That's
Jane,
right.
I would like to motorboat you. I'd like to put my face between your tits and go like this. Right? That's what I'll do. Right? So no one argues with that statement. Now, Jane, would you like to motorboat me? right?
I think
Questionable.
she's putting her face in your chest. Is what I'm thinking.
That's where
Now
the
she's putting her face in your tits
is that what?
and doing
Yeah,
the
totally.
blah, blah, blah.
Why is the person putting their face in the one getting motorboat? That's one giving the motorboat.
I think
right.
maybe
Doesn't
to
make-
motorboat is to
It's
make
the
the
brrr.
is to make the it's the
You have to have a motor.
Yeah, but the only pleasure is it, am I loud in people's headphones?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Because I can't hear me, but I'm wondering.
No,
if
you're good. You're
loud.
good.
I'm really loud. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. So but like, there's no pleasure for the person get the girl in a motorboat situation. The person with the tits isn't getting the pleasure. The person getting the pleasure is the person with his face buried in the tits. That person,
In this case, the roast beef was getting a lot of.
yeah, the most.
But the
roast beef's
pleasure
got
is in the
pleasure of-
motorboating.
Yes.
Right.
You think the pleasure?
The person that's is like
Wait,
enjoying it.
That's the
So
pleasure.
the motorboat is enjoyable.
Okay, hang
for
on.
the
So the person getting their titties motorboated is not in.
And I was gonna
It's not-
fight
it's not
that too.
pleasurable? 'Cause
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna
fight
say-
that because one of my fondest
go.
memories is being motorboated, but he couldn't. He was so drunk that he couldn't make it to my chest. So it was really funny because everyone's like, ah, and then I was just like laughing because he just.
Yeah, but okay.
Mess.
So, but if
So
you're getting
inebriated.
them flopped around,
That's
that's
fun,
kind
too.
of charging.
But-
It's getting it.
Yeah.
It's getting it going.
That's playful.
Doesn't that tie into the name, though? Motorboat, like it's a boat on big waves. So for a guy, it's these little skinny waves. So it should be called something different altogether.
Paddle boating.
Paddle boating.
Yeah.
Canoeing.
Canoeing, yeah.
Man, that's really
That
deep.
really
We're getting right
escalated,
into
You
it.
know what this is? Radio gold.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
You think because? But I never thought of it that way before. Like that. I think I'm still with Dylan. I think
Pete,
But-
I think you're creating something new, is what you're doing.
to give the motorboat.
Two motorboats.
You know what I
Giving a
think?
motorboat?
But girls don't enjoy it sexual. They don't get sexual pleasure from being motorboated.
Not maybe not
could.
sexual pleasure. However,
But they'll enjoy
if
their
you
time.
if you relate it to cooking, you are thawing the meat, so to speak.
Oh,
Pulling it out of the freezer, you're warming it up, you're getting ready to get cooking.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Light
saying?
massage.
What you
Light
do-
massage, same thing.
Yeah.
Little bit of. Oh my god, I fucking love you. What's going on? Oh yeah.
Or maybe
Little
like
of that.
I think
You're
motorboating is
charging
more
it
like
up.
funny, but it's still fun because it's still enjoyable to laugh.
But
when you're-
that
Yes,
that
it is.
depends on the unit of measurement in which you are motorboating.
That's
See,
true.
This is what I'm saying. So the
real
degree
deep,
in which
Dylan.
you're given the fucking
But-
like you can motorboat daintily, you can do it like a gentleman, or you can do it like a drunk asshole like me and Pete together sometimes.
I
Just saying.
never did that with that. That was once.
Hey, one time,
That
man.
was supposed to be
Two
secret.
I was drunk. That's like but no. But you know what makes it a little bit sexy is when you rub olive oil and mush the herbs and
Mush.
yeah,
Motion.
and then you can make your girlfriend smell nice, like a nice rosemary and thyme.
Fine.
Time. We have to do one thing. Let's just get feedback out of the way, and then we can. We can have a good song. I want to say that was Lime Ricky off the top.
Yeah.
Lime Ricky off the top. And for the people are wondering what was that song, it was an original by our band that is here tonight, Yoney. You can see them at 2 doors down or 3. How many?
3 doors down is the butt rock band. 2 doors down is the butt venue.
2 doors down in Brantford on Market Street on Canada Day.
Yeah.
With Flat 5.
Oh, really?
Hamilton's
Yeah.
Prodigal Funk Sons. They're great.
Willow told me he wants to get in here with Flat 5, so now it's
Oh
on
man,
air.
you guys and Flat 5 would have way too much fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay then.
The
that
laughter
sounds like we
never stops.
will do.
Sounds
fuck,
great.
Fuck. Tweeds is fucking radio gold. That guy.
Yeah.
We told you the Dickwater.
Dickwater. That's
Yeah, that's
That
Dick
was
Water?
him. That was him.
Oh,
Get him in
the
here.
original Dick Water
That's
guy.
the man.
Wow.
That's the man. Straight from the horse's mouth.
All right.
We must meet the Dickwater.
We must meet the.
Senor Dickwater.
Sorry, I forget I'm on TV because nobody watches this shit.
It was a moth.
Oh,
my cat would eat it. if
I've
it-
seen a lot of
my
cool
cat were here.
wildlife around here this
Care of
year.
it.
It's been really neat. I saw a huge snake and a bunch of these big fat toads that have been rescuing from my pool.
Last weekend I was. It was my anniversary
Oh,
So-
of what?
with my girlfriend.
Oh, you have a girlfriend.
I do.
I thought you were gay all the time.
I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
I get that. I get that a lot. Oh, hey,
We're back. Right.
gay all the time.
Kevin.
Like,
Slippy fingers.
like 24/7. You mean, or like?
No,
sometime?
I don't think you're gay. I don't think you're gay. I was just
appreciate that.
joking.
No,
Yeah.
I know. Just I'm saying, like,
You don't dress well enough for me to really think you're gay.
it's true.
Sorry, I was just trying to make you feel better with an insult. You know?
You know what, man? They are
Did it work?
they're fucking trendy and handsome and like ripped. So
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Gay guys.
You got to be ripped to take dick.
Well, it
You
seems
have to
like
be.
that
You
way.
have to be. You have to be.
But
These days.
Right?
It's not like the old-
2018.
It's not like the old Bruce
You'd be
Valanche
surprised.
Hollywood Squares.
George
days.
Takei.
there's a market for Bruce Valanche, Dave. You are like a real Charters in the gay community is like considered a bear, and I believe that you would really, if you go out, open a Grinder account, Charters, you could
He'd
get some
clean house.
serious play.
Buddy, you'd clean fucking house.
I'll keep that in mind.
Shirtless,
Shirtless, Hitler haircut,
hairy shoulders.
like Harry. Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my God,
Buddy,
they love it, man.
They're eating the rosemary out of them shoulders. Hey?
You make Bruce Valanche look like a common street whore. You know what I mean? That's how attractive you are compared to Bruce
Thank you, Peter.
Valanche.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Dave. Yeah, he is that much more attractive than Bruce Valanche.
Good for you,
Charters, you're really doing good.
Feel good.
And
Look good.
you look great. Let's get to a segment we call feedback. We got feedback.
We got feedback. Feedback. Motherfucking feedback.
Welcome to Feedback. We got feedback. This week's show is brought to you, as always, by our friends at Amazon. If you'd like to go to our website, livefromthedutchhall.com, and click on our Amazon banner, you can do your shopping, and some of that money is going to come back and help the show. So thank you to anyone that's done that. It doesn't cost you anything, and just gives us money. So you're like, you can give it all to Amazon, or you can give just most of it to Amazon and some of it to us. It's up to you.
Either
but if
way.
you're just giving it all to Amazon, I think you're a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, fuck
'Cause
off.
what do they do? Like,
How much
why-
is enough?
Yeah, how much is enough? Exactly. You know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to probably buy another cord, microphone or something.
We found out we needed one
No,
of
if I
those.
can save for a
Yeah,
year,
right. We get more band members, then we need more chords.
more cords, right?
Simple math.
Just makes sense.
You know what else? Canada Day is around the corner, and it's pretty late for this year. But if you want to do it next year, you'll notice this year when you're doing your Canada Day festivities, when you're celebrating the greatness of our country or whatever,
Perhaps a firework.
you will realize that your friends and your acquaintances that you have invited to your party are a bunch of dull losers. And really, it's going to make you question yourself. Like, what has happened? I used to have fun. I used to be cool. But now my life is just miserable, and it's boring, and I'm surrounded by these duds.
Small
right?
talk.
You know what you need? You need Van Dyke Party Services to come and save your day. What you're going to do is you're going to give us an email at livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com, and we will send you between 5 and 29 Van Dyke First Cousins, and you're going to have the time of your life. And all it's going to cost you is $100 of cold hard cash, plus all of our expenses, which will be dear.
Well, yes, they are.
There is no question about that. But if you're not 100% satisfied, we will return that $100. But those expenses have run through our bodies and potentially yours. Van Dyke Party Services,
Don't live your life in regret.
brought to you by our good friends at Clean Flow.
What up, Clean Flow?
Clean Flow is the best.
Sure are.
Lube it up.
Norpac.
The beef people.
Yeah.
Tickler comes through. We
Buddy,
didn't even
yelling
know.
it over there.
Spot on, too.
Spot
Nailing
on.
it.
Did you notice that he like kind of closed his eyes a lot when he did it? He's like, the beef people.
Yeah.
If you put Kevin and Beeve together, they would not equal Paul
Not
as
even
far as
fucking close. Maybe
the
it's
space that
I
they
was like,
take
wait,
up.
where are you going with that? We would not equal Paul.
like, no.
No, and I'm talking about just weight and girth, like the mass of you together. Even both of you sitting there with both forearms and legs, you know, you got all that.
Distribution.
I'm the amount of a leg.
Yeah,
I can still get
maybe.
behind
At
there and
most.
do stuff now.
Maybe like both his arms,
Yeah.
like either side.
You can still serve beer.
We can have a third person up here.
He was bragging about how he's at Mike's party and he didn't move the whole night because his back hurt.
Yep.
And he thought that was great. He's going to keep doing it at every party, not move.
He had a
What?
great time.
He was also talking about because he's old now, he just does the head nod, and that means that signifies that you're allowed to come to him and talk to him.
He's like the, he's like
hails
the
him
Godfather.
over. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
but he's not going. He's not going to you. He's not getting off his chair.
No,
That's
no.
unbelievable. Really?
You come to me.
And him and Keys,
I'll give you
him
an
and
offer
your
you
Uncle
can't
Keys
refuse.
they had a head nod off.
Yeah.
They kept nodding
And
at each
neither of
other.
them got up.
It's a fucking Mexican standoff.
Yeah. Two alphas just sitting there waiting for the other to come to him.
It's like a Family Guy episode. Just for an hour.
Whole episode, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not coming. Yet the whole episode with never letting you off the hook.
Peter and the chicken just nodding.
And
at
as it
each
goes on, the grunting gets just more and more dynamic. Like,
That's probably what it was like. And you know what else? He doesn't go upstairs in his own house. He will not go upstairs. He says there's no reason for him to go up there. And
other. It's free game upstairs for the
yeah,
boys.
so the kid, I go, your kids are up there. He goes, yeah, that's their space, not mine. And I'm like, would you have to go up there to like talk to him or something?
See what's doing.
See what they're
just
up
give
to.
them the old head nod and they come down.
That's right.
They know what that means.
Yeah.
Stomp
They
the
got-
floor.
Yeah. And then nod from the bottom.
I got a broomstick. I can just lie on the couch and hit the ceiling. They'll come down. If I hit it twice.
They can feel the air around his head move because it's so fucking huge.
Yeah.
They're like, Dad nodded.
Yeah.
Let's get down there.
His only weakness is stairs. That's the only thing that can keep the kids safe. Anyway, so let's go. Who else we got? Yarmy Electric. Yarmy Electric, people, leave them alone. They don't want your business. Derek's busy. He's a very, very busy man, and he likes to have time off to smoke cigarettes and bang his wife. No big deal. Leave him alone. He does not need any more of your help. If you call him, he will be upset. Okay?
He's got bigger things to do.
Yarmy Electric, if we don't get it right the first time, we'll get it right the second time. And if we don't get it right the second time,
You could go fuck yourself. Hey.
also brought to you by Clean Flow.
And
That one wasn't so much the regular Paul impression of the deep voice, but it was it was the
tried to
cadence
sneak
of
into it. I
It was the
tried-
cadence
The
of it.
I haven't tried Paul. It's low.
Yeah, it's low, but you got the rhythm of Paul. You got the rhythm of Paul.
There's a lot of darts involved.
Yeah.
Thanks, Beef.
He's not really a dart smoker, eh? He
not?
seems like he is, but he just says it at night.
He strikes me as such a fucking dart smoker.
Yeah, during the day, never would touch the stuff. It slows him down. But during evening, he likes to have a few cigarettes.
Relax.
No big deal.
He needs all the advantages he can get. No smoking during the day means a full day.
I love it.
So that's it for sponsors. So now we just have to get to our feedback, which we ask you to listen to every week for a little bit of feedback. Well, we just got some right in, hot off the wire feedback. At Dutch Hall, you must have been thrilled that Portugal is in the round of 16.
Who gives a shit?
What?
Each match. Wait, hold on. Let me just see this.
It's fucking soccer.
Each match they played showing their strength and grit. No Viking or Mongol could compare to the raw strength of the Portuguese national squad. This guy's obviously trying to press my
I
buttons.
wonder who this is.
Many were touched. No one was ever pushed, and yet they carried on. Oh, he's referring to he's being sarcastic, referring to how they dive like a bunch of spineless cowards.
And
eh?
finger pop each other's assholes in the dressing room.
Do you think that's what they do?
It's soccer.
Oh, soccer's so cool, though.
You know what's cool? Women's soccer. They are fucking ballsy. They are ballsy. Men's soccer is some of the bitchiest shit I've ever seen.
Also, women's soccer, they're just more accurate a shot.
They're just better.
I don't know how they can kick over the net so many times in the World Cup. It's just a big fucking net. Just kick it at the net.
Right.
Because they're trying to hit like the fucking perfect top corner shot.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't even
Yeah,
go
'cause
close.
they're trying to get that $2 billion Adidas deal. Fucking dicks.
Yeah, that
Fuck
is-
them. Fuck them, I say.
Big soccer fan over here.
Oh, it's the worst. It's
Michael,
the
what do you have
worst.
to- what do you have to say
all
about
right,
that?
you know what? FIFA is the fucking worst. FIFA is the worst company ever. Soccer is the lamest fucking sport. I'm sorry, it's the lamest. It's so lame. I mean, listen.
Calm the old
Here we
jets.
go.
Calm
All right,
the
Here we
jets.
go. You want me to do this? I'll fucking do this. I'll do this. It's
Calm
the
the
fucking
jets.
most. Okay. It is the most
Here's the
boring fucking sport to watch, first of all. Not because there's so many commercials, and I'm not an NFL guy because it's like mattress commercials, car commercials every fucking 3 seconds, and like a guy with Down syndrome and John Madden trying to.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
But soccer, no commercials.
Soccer, no commercials, I'm cool with. I wish more
Yeah.
sports were like that. However, the sport in and of itself has been infested by bitchiness. It's so fucking hard to watch.
Now, Mike, you watch league play, right? You watch
do.
like the league play.
I'm like the opposite of Dylan.
Yeah.
It's grittier in league play. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I
Still
have no
bitchy, though.
argument with it. Like my favorite sport's hockey, so
It's
I
the
have
shit.
no argument about the bitchiness.
Yeah.
Right. But is there like countries that are tougher than others in soccer, or are they all?
Oh yeah.
There's got to be, right?
As far as
The,
I've managed to see, England is pretty tough.
England's tough,
Yeah.
and that's the league I watch. So
Right.
it is a tougher league, but the African countries are usually tougher.
Yeah, they
Yeah, I
don't.
was
They don't
watching
play
Japan.
games.
They don't lay
man. They
down.
don't play games.
We were
they don't
watching
have like
Japan
those.
play.
Yeah.
They don't have
They
the
were
charters
rough.
haircut. They're fucking 90 pounds. They're gorgeous. Fuck these people, man. Fuck them. They make $2 billion to fucking run around like a bunch of queens. Fuck them. Fuck soccer. Fuck FIFA.
Because
Fuck Messi.
cricket is so exciting.
Fuck your fit. No, I'm just kidding. You
Yeah.
know, but
No,
for
no,
real, no, it's the worst. It's the worst.
I
I'm
like
sorry,
it.
it's the worst. Like I used to be I was a big basketball fan.
Right.
It got too bitchy. I stopped watching.
Right, I agree with
I
that.
What's
stopped
that bitchy?
fucking
What do you
watching.
mean by bitchy
It
though?
got bitchy. All right, bitchy is it's competitive. It's playoffs. You're
Right.
complaining to the ref. You're delaying the game. That's bitchy because you didn't get your way.
Oh.
B, you're trying to get calls in order to move your team. Just play
Yeah, yeah.
better, play harder, play 80s.
And so this is why you hate soccer because that is
Because
the
it is
whole
the
game. It's a lot of
penultimate
actors.
level of bitchiness.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like there is no bitchier sport, and I challenge someone to find me a bitchier sport than soccer. I really do. I challenge.
Did you see? Did you watch any of the game today with England and Belgium?
I did not.
Anyways, I would notice they kept giving the Belgian guys yellow cards, and they didn't even talk to the ref. Like they just didn't even acknowledge it. They just
Didn't even say "Godverdamme."
yeah, nothing at all. They just acted like it didn't happen. And I was like, that's the first time I ever seen it. Like in soccer, usually a guy gets a yellow card. It's like and then they carry on for a while,
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, I think they took the power away from the ref because now the ref didn't make it look like he hurt the guy's feelings at all, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
get why people hate. I mean, I fucking 100% get why people hate it because I sit and watch the games all the time and I feel what you feel. But I've learned. We were talking about it this weekend. It's like Canadians to me. It's like Canadians watching curling that love curling. There's a whole fucking strategy that personally I don't understand.
Yeah, it gets subterranean.
Yeah.
I get that.
So I love that part of the game, the diving and the shit. Actually, with
Sure.
this new VAR, video, audio, or what is it? It's the review that the ref can call the fucking shit when they dive back.
Yeah.
Has actually been pretty decent. So they're trying to get rid of it too
Good.
because they realize it's horrible.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the worst.
It's horrible.
But
It's
the
cheating.
thing that
It's just
I have to
cheating.
the algorithm I run in my brain when I want to watch sports is the level of entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
and you define entertainment in sport by incredible athletes
Yep.
working their ass off to win.
Yep.
Right? That's entertaining.
Yeah.
If you're a sports fan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to watch playoff hockey, you want to watch them get the fuck
It's the
in
best
there
playoff
and
hockey
go
is the best
for it.
thing ever.
Right, because that's just the culture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The bitchiness, where does it go? With hockey, there's a couple guys that are bitchy.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys.
Yeah.
But they get lambasted by the rest of the league and the fans.
Right.
Right?
There's more in the
Basketball,
there's more in the line.
it's starting to tip. You get a super teams. I can't watch super teams. I fucking hate it. I hate everything about it. That's bitchy.
Yeah.
But then when you start to see guys like, get fucking tapped
Not
and
even
then just
tapped.
hit the floor,
Yeah. They're actors.
Yeah, where you got guys in the 80s getting elbowed in the dome,
You got rugby players today
rugby
just
players.
And then- so-
mauling and wrecking
Yeah,
in
and
a
even to
normal
keep it
game.
within
Like
the
you don't
same
even
sport,
stop.
but to keep it within the same sport, in the 80s you had guys, and in the 90s you had guys throwing elbows underneath the hoop in a game 7,
But there's-
smashing each other in the face. It
Or
got
my
called.
friend in like high school,
Right.
she played soccer.
It
Right.
got called. I have no problems with that. Don't let them play through if someone's getting punched in the head. However, don't complain. It's what you're there to do. You're there to compete.
Yeah,
That's why I can't watch it.
Yeah, but it comes down to money. In the 80s and 90s, there was no money in sports.
True.
Now there's billions of dollars
Yeah,
in sports.
absolutely.
That's why the level of you call bitchiness is up.
Yeah,
You know what
they
I
got to
mean?
keep
Because
their
there's-
face together for
There's more-
commercials.
no, but there's more on the line.
Yeah, true.
More money
Yeah.
on. There's
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
money on the line.
It's
not
all
more-
ridiculous, though.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Isn't sports all ridiculous, though? Like how much they get paid and everything and how much money it's worth? because like a lot of people do more important things than play
Much more,
sports, and they don't get half that money.
But that's
But it's our entertainment,
right. But it
Yeah,
it-
but that's what I mean. Like as a
the reason
culture,
they
we
make
put
so
it
much-
at such a high
the reason
all
they-
around. the world.
Sorry, the reason they make so much money is because so many people are watching it. So many people care.
Yeah, but
That's why.
But
right?
yeah, but the reason so many people are watching it is what I'm curious about, because I think it's a distraction. I just think sports is a distraction from like what's really going on.
Well, it's the same thing as the
Yeah, but don't you think? Sorry for interrupting.
It's
Dylan.
okay.
Don't you think we need that?
Yeah, well,
Don't you think we need a bit of a distraction?
I think as far as like to placate the masses, you mean like to?
To keep us all sane.
Yeah, I think so. I
Sports
think
are
that's what it's for. Yeah.
Sports and music.
Exactly. It doesn't
you
have
need
to be
it. You
sports.
need it. Yeah, and but to say it's placated by the fact that so many people care, and so many people care because of voyeurism. That's the whole idea of celebrity. It's what would that be like to be an incredible athlete, to watch incredible people?
Yeah,
to
but
say-
you're like in your 20s too, right? Or are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, 25.
So like when you're watching an athlete, you're watching peers or whatever, right?
Not really.
but
I
you-
don't see them as peers because
But they're people your
6'9", 220. I'm like, all right,
Whatever.
sure,
Let's say
man,
soccer. There's lots of people your size
Sure,
in soccer,
yeah,
right?
absolutely, and around the same age, sure.
And but like when I'm watching sports, I'm watching like children, like people 20 years younger than
Sure.
me, so like I don't give a fuck.
You got nothing there.
Yeah, like I
No,
don't
get
I
it.
don't know why I would watch a kid's sport. Even in the States they watch like high school football and they don't even have a kid in high school. You know what I mean?
I think you're.
I don't understand it.
Because
I
when
know
you-
that everyone likes it. But I am just so far out of that.
No, I get where you're coming from,
I just-
for sure.
At that age, they're in their prime, though, right? So I think it's like watching anything in their prime. Like,
Yeah, but isn't that sad if you're in your prime when you're in your 20s? That's the part that's sad
not really.
about me.
Not if you're
Physically.
Yeah, physically. There you go.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
only
That's the
only
answer.
physically in your. I would argue.
I guess
that-
because I don't put a
Especially
lot
with
of.
football because head injuries.
Right.
Yeah, and I would make the argument that
Yeah,
you are
short
nowhere
career, yeah.
near your intellectual or emotional or spiritual or blah 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 wisdom prime until at least 35.
I think.
At fucking least. I don't know shit from Shinola, and I'll be the first one to admit it because I've only been on this earth 25 years, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
Your brain's just stopping forming.
I think it
Finally.
I think it
Yeah.
depends
It's
on your
about time.
experiences, though.
Yeah.
It really depends on your experiences and how much you take in, like every day. I mean, if you're just gonna, kind of go at it half-assed, 75% or whatever. If you're at it 100% every single day, and you're gaining experience every single day, I think that age is a number in that case.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
really think that
That's definitely true. But it's like my brother and I were talking about this today. It's like, yeah, just the more you live, you just see the same things happen over and over again, and then you just get to see the patterns of everything. So you can see a person and what kind of person they are, and you just can kind of see their future. You just know what's going to happen because you've seen it happen so many times, and that only comes with like seeing it a bunch of times. It's like. So like if you're young and passionate about something and you put yourself into the 10,000 scenarios of that one thing in order to become accomplished at it, then you've accomplished that. But when you're old, you just done it by accident. It's
and
just
you've,
like
you've
happen-
also failed a lot.
yeah. So you
a lot
there's
more.
those sort of lessons are like the ones that you're not taught. You just know it now because you screwed
experienced
it up
it.
so bad.
it's more of
yeah.
a time of appreciation for what you've learned instead of obtaining what you've learned and not really recognizing that up
Yeah.
front. I think that's more of the thing when you're older is there's more of a realization of what you've had and what you've done, what you've gained.
I guess, yeah.
And,
I always think if you're like my age and you're talking about high school like it was a good time,
Oh fuck.
then you're you haven't improved in 25 years,
You've
and you are it's sad. You haven't
Yeah.
learned from you haven't
that-
learned anything with
that
your
does
life.
make me sad. But
Yeah.
even on a bigger level, you see things repeat, right?
Huh?
You see people repeat the same patterns of behavior. You see groups of people repeat the same patterns of behavior. You see the same people being fed
Do-
the same line of bullshit and electing the same people. and then
Chutters, do you
even the
feel
same sort of?
Do you feel that as you get older, you see the same thing over and over again? You think it's kind of like getting boring, like it's not like there's no surprises anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like you just kind of know what the end's going to be, like it's just you've seen that story, And these are people that are around you. You just
Yeah,
kinda,
that's why you always gotta like shoot for new experiences all the time. You know,
yeah, exactly, right?
figure new shit out.
Because it just becomes a lot of the same thing over and over again.
Just put yourself somewhere you've never been.
Yeah, and I'm always of the opinion that you should have some semblance of a discipline, not a hobby, but a discipline. And even if you work a full-time job and you've got kids to support, that doesn't mean, and you know, even if you did it fucking 30 minutes a week when you find time, it's good to have a discipline because that's something to focus on and to focus on improving at.
Dave's is whacking
And
off.
get self-worth from.
Dave's is whacking up, and I
Yep.
bet you his record time would blow your mind.
No, he's not trying to do speed round. Charles isn't about speed. He's about quality,
Not
man.
anymore.
No, take your time, get the lotion
That's
out.
what I'm saying.
Why would
like,
anyone be
light a
about speed? I
candle.
just don't, I don't understand.
Stick low.
Go for speed?
He wants to get
This
multiple.
guy I knew a
If
long
you're
time ago used to
masturbating-
message me and be like, "I'm trying to be as fast as I can." I'm like, "That's not. I don't think that's what you want to
No
do."
one
Yeah,
Like,
it's not the rook.
I got down to like under 2 minutes. I'm like, "Well,
you blew it.
congratulations!" like,
Bad practice.
Yeah, I never heard of a guy trying on purpose to be premature.
Fast, yeah. That's
it was one person, but I was
Maybe
super
not.
confused by
Maybe
it.
not in the bedroom,
Well,
but
yeah.
I can certainly understand a lazy guy being like, you know what? I just want to fucking get this over.
I just want to get
with."
this nut off and go to
I
bed.
just gotta do it, so that I can do it 8 more times today.
Yeah,
Maybe it's about the quantity as opposed to the quality.
I was on
I
this.
assumed that was Charters, and I apologize for misrepresenting you.
Hey, that's okay.
I was on this medicine that made me so I couldn't finish. My
Was that the best like 3 months of your life, or the
no?
worst?
I lost.
worst.
Look, I lost like 40 pounds.
Ooh.
Because you got to keep fucking forever, and you sweat, and then you have to take a rest after. Even if it's like a nice, you think it's gonna be a quick one, it's like fucking
Taking a
an hour
Gatorade
of
break?
work. Yeah, you got to get your
Get to the
electrolytes up.
nightstand, you're like, all right, let's do this.
Replenish my electrolytes.
Yeah, I think that's how I lost all my weight. I think it's from all that banging.
well, there's the answer.
Okay, so I want to get them done feedback. Yeah, thank you. Hey,
You
Pete,
did
this
like
is-
a prelude.
That was the last one, by the way. Bruce Veltri.
Oh yeah.
Bruce Veltri,
thanks,
that was the
Bruce.
one that was hot off the wire.
That
This
was a
one here is
tangent.
from Laura Collins. She says, hey, Pete, she is a super fan. Wanted to share a bit of Pine Grove history in relation to you talking about how you were hoping for a shit war with your neighbor on last week's show. Once in the early 90s, there was an unnamed person who allegedly took a big shit on one of their neighbor's doorstep. And the doorstep belonged to one of the teachers at the local high school. Oh, I live by a whole bunch of teachers. Oh, yeah, another Pine Grove tip. Don't puke in a sump hole. It stinks. LOL. Anyways, just a couple of Pine Grove tips.
Now we know.
We
Pine
are
Grove
not
tips.
above shitting
That's
on
the kind
your
of
door.
wisdom that comes with age too. Is don't puke in a sump hole.
Don't puke in a sump hole. You know, you're on Charlottesville Road
I was
7.
in Brantford now, but yeah, that's where I was.
But if you're in the
for-
low spot there, you can puke in that sump hole because that water's going to run through it
wash
all day
right
long,
down.
especially in the springtime.
and you're right,
Right?
and I'll leave it at that.
Spring your high water.
Yeah. It's high water there on the.
Spew your brains out, honey.
Soaks the tulips.
And our last lady is a lady that's been with us since the very she hasn't been with us since the beginning, but she's taken over for the Eastern Dwarf, really. She's been with us for quite some time. She is, I'm going to call her a sponsor now of the show because she's given us so much goddamn cheese. From the Second Mouse, Teresa the Cheese Lady. Let's check on her.
Why wouldn't we? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Checking on the cheese lady. On the cheese lady. Checking on the cheese lady. Always on the run. Checking on the cheese lady. On the cheese lady. Checking on the cheese lady. She's always having fun. Checking on the cheese lady. On the cheese lady. Checking on the cheese lady. Always on the run. Checking on the cheese lady. On the cheese lady. Checking on the cheese lady. Let's see what she's done. What have you done, Teresa?
Teresa from the Second Mouse in Delhi wrote us a bunch of notes after last week's show, which was called Billy Joel Can Suck My Dick. She says, the week before, she said she had a note for the lovely Miss Jane. I was supposed to ask her about it. She said, Jane said she didn't know what she was talking about. Then Teresa wrote, the note on the salami package said no toothpick necessary, as during one of your programs you referenced a toothpick supporting your manhood. See what I mean?
Whoa.
So that's what I mean. I don't, because I use a toothpick to prop up a limp dick.
Like down the pee hole?
No, I just tape it. I'm sure I just taped it on my shaft. But a toothpick, it's not really.
You mean like a splint?
like a splint? Keep it up.
Like a splinter.
Yeah. You wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't remember it. I don't remember anything I say.
If I were you, I'd have gone popsicle stick, but
Rounded
just saying.
edges.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not flattering. Like, why would I go toothpick? It's it's. If I should have said like
Tongue depressor.
Yeah.
Yardstick.
yeah.
Tree limb.
Yardstick. A yardstick would have been a good one. Anyway, she said, I didn't ask Jane. She would have been too classy to throw you under the bus as for having a toothpick dick. That doesn't work. Right? And that's nice that she thinks that way about my wife. But my wife, you throw me under the bus, wouldn't you? Make fun of me, my dick? If I had a ridiculous dick problem and you'd make fun of me, you wouldn't you wouldn't worry about my feelings. Like if I came out of the shower, let's say, and my dick was incredibly small, like smaller than normal, you wouldn't just point and laugh at it. You wouldn't.
It sounds like she would.
I think she would. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think she would even for a second, like hold back. I think she would just like full on point and howl at my dick.
Well, you don't think that she should?
No, I think it's fun. I don't have a problem with it at all.
Aren't they just inherently funny no matter what they look like?
Yeah, they
And
are.
if you wanted to see one, it's still funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think the best looking dick is still ridiculous.
It's still hilarious. Exactly.
Yeah. It's got fucking balls hanging on the outside. What a poor fucking design. The whole thing is just.
The whole thing's kind of funny.
Yeah. Silly.
Shove it right in between a couple legs. No big deal.
Any couple, just a
Makes
couple
any
legs.
sense.
But, people cut the tips off them to make them look better, and it works. Eh? And
that might be the craziest thing of human civilization.
Yeah.
We found out that cutting the end of your cock off makes it look nicer.
yeah, that's what we do. Hey, I just found out because I don't want to be like, I like being religious, but I don't like religion at all.
Do you like the moral posturing that comes with being religious?
No, I just like having. I just like having a I think it's nice to have a community and a code to live your life, like a moral code to live your life by. I think that's nice. It's just that every religion that I come across, I don't like their moral code. Doesn't like agree with mine.
Well, the odd ones got more extreme and they strap bombs to themselves.
Yeah, some of them fuck kids too, Derek. Some of them fuck kids.
That wasn't going that way.
You had a real go on that one.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different things that we do. So different religions do different things, and I don't like any of them. But I like. Where's I going with this?
I like being religious.
Dicks.
I like being religious,
Moral code.
but I don't like religion.
Cut the top off your dick.
Cut this off your dick. So I think about other religions a lot. So I was gonna. I looked at Judaism, Jews. I wanted to be a
Right.
Jew, right?
Nice. Good call.
And the reason I was looking at being a Jew was because apparently the rabbis just give you advice. You can talk to them about anything. You don't have to. It's not have to be like they don't give you rules. It's like tell you how to live your life. And I get married and all that stuff. And I started thinking, it seems like pretty good. And then I realized and I thought, oh, no problem. I'm already circumcised. I don't even have to get
You'll
circumcised.
fit right in.
I'll fit right in. Turns out, not good enough for the Jews. Not good enough. In order for me to join their group, my circumcised dick is not enough because they didn't do it as part of their ceremony, so they still have to cut my dick.
Yeah,
If I'm going to be a Jew,
What the fuck are they cutting?
They're cutting initials in.
no, they just have to make sure that my dick
Like a
bleeds.
painting.
So they might just take a like a needle and prick your dick head, like your helmet. They prick it and just to get blood just come out of it, and they're like, "There you go, you're a Jew now. Now you're a Jew."
You can be a fake Jew, though.
What I just say I did it? No, I did that before I came.
No, what I'm
Sorry.
I got a buddy. He's a fake Jew.
What do you mean? He just calls himself a Jew?
No, the rabbi sat next to him, and he went to what's it called?
Bar mitzvah?
Yeah. Okay. And he didn't have a little hat on his head. So
Yarmulke?
Fucking
Yarmulke. I didn't want to.
I was waiting for that.
I didn't want to screw it up again.
Oh,
That's
that's
why I
fine.
didn't say it. So then the rabbi sat next to him and said, "Where's your yarmulke?" Or whatever it's called.
That's right.
You got it. You got it.
I got it right. I gave him the right word.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to set me up there. Right? and then so then he read it. He had to because you got to read the wrong way, right? The books.
Oh yeah. Well, yes.
Yes. So he had to read a few things.
other way.
Anybody's sitting.
No, the wrong way.
No, the wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had to read a book backwards, and he said, "Okay, now you're allowed to be here." You're allowed to be in temple.
Oh, in the
Wait.
temple, but you're still not a Jew.
That's why I say he's a fake Jew.
Oh. Oh, okay. So if you don't do that,
and then he put a little hat on his head with a little
A
pin.
yarmulke.
yeah.
Yarmulke.
You're like
A Ramaka.
yarmulke.
Long story short, I fucked this up one time real drunk, and it was pretty funny. So
It was a hamaka, you said.
I said a hamaka.
Yeah. Which is
So-
kind of like Hanukkah yarmulke.
Yeah.
Like, it
I don't- is that
made
even a
sense.
word?
It's a Dutch Hall
It is
classic,
now.
is what it is.
Yeah, it was a Dutch Hall class.
Yeah, I could be a fake Jew, but it's not the same. I don't want to be a fake anything. I'd just rather be, and I don't want to do an old 3,500-year-old ritual.
Yeah, and like you have an adult dick now, and you got to get something shoved.
Yeah. And why? Because someone 3,500 years ago said, you know how crazy your grandma seems when she's going on a tangent about the blacks?
Yeah, but Pete, that's
Oh
that's
my
what-
God! Can I tell a funny story I heard yesterday?
What?
Speaking about that,
What?
just old school mentality.
Yeah.
So I'm having a nice chat about the football tournament, the
Yeah.
World Cup, and so I'm talking with an older gentleman, and he says, "Yeah, Germany. See, they crashed out. Yep, I would have never put those two." And he said it the nice way: Negroes in the back, they blew it
Oh, really?
because of those two. I'm like, what?
He felt that they...
And this was just normal. There was no attack, just normal conversation.
And he said Negro?
Two Negroes at the back. They cost him. I was like,
Wow.
That was him just kind of like dipping his toe in the water, like, is this guy on the level?
that's
No,
why
and that
I
guy's
put
probably-
my head down and was like, I guess.
Bye.
He's older.
Yeah, he's an old guy. But you look at that, he's an old guy. That stuff doesn't mean much to him. Like,
It meant nothing. Like,
can you
it was
imagine
nothing.
3,500 years ago when the people, they couldn't even travel, so you couldn't even associate with other people that easily? You really saw who was ever you saw, and that was it. So if you heard about another person from another land, it would be like a mystery to you. You know, you would have to fill in the blanks of what they were all about. You know, we have the luxury of knowing that people are just normal everywhere, and if you still think that way, you're seen as being ignorant, right? But 3,500 years ago, you didn't have any clue. You're writing things in this book, and then people still do it now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And you wouldn't let your grandma write some way for you to live going forward. You're like, no, you're already at a touch, lady, right?
Yeah.
You're not. I'm out of touch. I'm only 40.
Yeah.
Imagine a 3,500-year-old Pete Van Dyke. How out of touch he'd be? I'd be very out of
Very
touch.
out of touch.
But I would have a good run going, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you're lasting.
If I was
that long.
3,500 years old, that's
Maybe
pretty
Your
good.
dick would be fucking beautiful.
Yeah, you'd have
Oh,
the Jew dick.
it wouldn't work though, but it would be nice to look
Not
at.
even close.
Yeah,
Picturesque.
It'd
Yeah.
hang low.
It would hang just low, and people would come and they'd just come to just get their picture taken beside it, put their hand on it.
Fig leaf in front of it.
Yeah,
Just kind of hold it up.
yeah. You can have like your whole family just kind of holding my dick. Hey, why don't you grab the balls, honey? Grab the balls.
It's the most fun.
That'd be great. 3,500 years of gravity. So that's it for feedback. If anyone else would like to tell us what you think of our program, just go to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com. Give us an email, or you can go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Quora, whatever, carrier pigeon, smoke signal, whatever way. Find us and give us some feedback. We will talk about it on next week's show. Cheese Lady, you're the best. And so, guys, are you ready to play another song?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would the next song you'd like to do for us be called?
It's called Audrey.
Audrey, any backstory to it?
Sydney?
Actually, mostly lyrically, it's about Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Like putting myself in the position of Audrey from Twin Peaks, but then like branching away from that. But yeah, I was watching a lot of Twin Peaks, like, so that's about that. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
It's kind of a quicker tune.
This opening riff is super cool, by the way. I fucking love this song.
Jake McGuinn.
I joined this band after they had already like written a bunch of their songs, so I had to learn a bunch of it. This one was so much fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I like joining bands after they've already come up with a name, logo, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So I don't ever want to have any part of it. I just want to play the music. It's my favorite part about being in Yoney. I had nothing to do with any of the other shit. Just play the guitar.
So look forward to hearing it.
This one's called Audrey. Ready?
I But now I sit your Cali down. Baby, these heavy thoughts are come wandering. My life, two hands full of cool running stream. Oh, baby, take deep. I'm only singing back. I'm who I am, who I am. I'm who I am. I'm not 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 who I am. If I'm not who I'm not who I am. I'll tell the bank for nothing there. Every day when it's too much to bear. But now I sit your Cali down. Lay baby's heavy thoughts. Oh, come on, wanting my life to rise. For the cool of the stream. Oh, baby, can see. Come on, sing that. Woo! Thank you.
Nice.
All right.
Right on.
Thank you. Audrey. That was Audrey.
Audrey, that's a good one. I like that.
We want our songs to be able to get people to want to fuck.
On the dance
Am I
floor.
right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
kind of the
pretty
whole
much.
point.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like-
it's called Yoney.
Right, which is vagina. I'm
You know,
pretty sure. Is that-
also, well, it's like creation, womb, also vagina. It's like all those sorts of things. So there's like a really cool like upper way you could look at it, and then also it's just about like sex and vaginas and
But
like the
Sydney,
whole thing, right?
where's that come from, Sydney?
Well, so yeah, the story behind that is that when I was about 12 or 13, I found the library card that I had when I was 6.
yeah.
And so I'd printed my name, Sydney Solazzo, on the library card, and some of the ink had rubbed off. So then it said Yoney Lazzo, and I was like, okay, that's my alter ego. I'm Yoney Lazzo now, and I had no idea what a Yoni was. Like I didn't know to call it Yoni. So then, fast forward about 5 years or so, whenever it is that I discover the word Yoni, I'm like, oh great, okay, that's awesome. So I've just been calling myself vagina this whole time. And
Who calls it Yoni though? Who calls
so
it?
Yoni, that's a Sanskrit word.
Oh, okay.
So it would be like in
Sanskrit.
which
India?
is in India.
India?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
It kind of does sound like it, eh? Like, it sounds like something you nicely call your vagina.
yeah, your yoni and
Yeah.
your lingam are like very loving terms for vagina and penis.
Lingam is my
Lingam.
penis.
And now I am going to massage the yawn.
But yeah, that's where that came from. So then,
It's like tantric and
What's Laurel?
Buddhist and all that.
yeah.
Is
Pardon
that
me?
internet
Laurel
thing?
and Yanny?
What's Laurel?
we have
then?
made that joke.
I don't know. Because Laurel maybe is a cock in something.
Is
But
it?
No, I don't know.
That'd be cool.
It would be cock. It would be funny if the whole states is just going like cock and pussy. Is it cock or pussy?
Oh,
is
wouldn't
it
that be
cock or pussy?
amazing?
And nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
That'd be
It's
great.
just like two Indian
Is it
words.
Yoni or Lingam?
Yeah, Yoni or Lingam. If that's what it was, that would be the whole. That would be awesome. Because they would never get it.
Poetic justice.
Yeah.
Yoga's pretty hot now. They actually.
Yeah. I guess so, but it's
trendy.
like I still think they'd miss it.
Yeah, no, you're
Most
right.
of them. There'd be
A lot
like
of
a
people
lot of
don't know.
laughing Indians in
Yeah.
in the states.
Well, because I say yoni and people still want to say yoni, so it's not a word a lot of people like. It's kind of split that people
Oh,
know
yeah.
it or not, right?
Yeah.
But if they know it, they know exactly what it is, and they kind of like laugh.
Oh,
Yeah, which is good. I like.
yeah,
that.
these guys' band's called the Nocturnal Emissions.
Right.
It's a little bit more on the nose, eh? A little bit more on
But
the
not
nose.
always. Like
Not
people are
always.
like, we're just gonna put this N and E with a little bit of jizz on the end of the E on our sign. No big deal.
No big
Yeah.
deal.
Like your dad asked me at your party, what is a nocturnal emission? He said.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't get it.
That's when you come in your sleep, Dad. You know that?
Like that
Well, you
that's
know.
when my sheets were a bit odd that one morning.
Yeah.
Remember I was going through socks like crazy?
It was that period in my life.
Socks,
Socks.
charters.
So you came
you
so much
slept.
in your sleep that you filled your socks, or you
Down his
sleep with a
leg
cock
into
on your
his-
You
sock?
never use a sock to clean up after. Come on.
What? Okay, no.
So people masturbate into the socks.
No, you don't masturbate at all with a nocturnal emission, Dave.
No.
Oh,
Right?
that's just.
It happens on its own.
Oh, okay, right.
It just shoots off on its
It's a
own.
wet dream.
All right, wet dream.
Wet dream.
Yeah.
Wet
Right,
dream.
right.
But Charters somehow his socks get involved in his wet dreams, which is the part I'm trying to figure out.
It's the closest thing laying on the floor close to your bed. You reach around, you grab
I
your sock
am
laying on the
fucking
floor.
disgusted.
What about your sheet?
Went to bed with another little bit of protection.
You're pretending you're in the chili
Sleeping
peppers.
bag.
I always thought jizz was like invisible ink. I thought it just kind of went away.
Everything just becomes stiff.
Yeah.
Never
kinda.
goes away,
Until you
Pete.
get the black light out.
I starched my sheets.
Yeah, it's no big deal. It does disappear, right? It's never there in the morning. You fall asleep on a wet spot, it's gone by the time you wake up.
It's gone and crusty.
Now it's crusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Got crusty legs stuck to the bed sheet. We wanted to just before we get to the end of the program, I'd like to just do a little bet on Canada today. Canada today. Not only is it again a great opportunity to see Yoney at 2 doors down in Brantford at Market Street, but it's also a time to celebrate our country's birthday. And I wanted to ask, because I personally could really give two shits about being Canadian, right? I didn't accomplish it, you know? I didn't move here. My granddad did. And so, like, I didn't really accomplish anything about being Canadian. And I've only lived one other country, you know, for 3 months. So I really don't know what it's like to be a citizen anywhere else. So I don't really have that much of a frame of reference, right? So I was talking about this with my kids. And she says, I don't think that Canada really has a pride about being the best in the world at it, really. We just have a pride that we're better than the States. And that's what my daughter said. And I was like, I never thought of it like that. But it's like we're not really comparing ourselves to Norway, you know? We just hear the Americans saying they're the best in the world, they're the best in the world. And then we're like, oh, you keep shooting each other and you don't have health care and your president's crazy, and ours is kind of not that great either. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't think you really are making a great case. And then I said, like, there's other countries in the world who think they're the best, like Korea or China. They think that everybody else in other countries are way less than they are, right? Like that they're clearly the best in the world, right? But we don't really think that in Canada, right? That we're the best. But everyone's really celebrates Canada Day like we accomplished something. But we really didn't. The Queen just gave us our independence. I don't even think we asked. I think she just said, enough's enough, move out.
Get the fuck out of here.
And,
Had enough.
yeah, so, like, what exactly, like, what do you really feel pride for Canada Day, or is it just because it's summertime?
I feel pride for Canada Day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about Canada?
Because I love the country that I live in.
What about it, though?
Just, I wouldn't want to live
Everything.
anywhere else. Yeah, I love everything. I love where I live. I love that I don't have to put up with some of the shit that other countries have to. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy here. I don't know.
Naturally, Canada is very beautiful. Like the landscape here, for
Yeah.
sure, something I really enjoy. And I also, I don't know, I don't really get behind nationalism in the sense of anyone really getting excited about being from a specific country, because it's like you should be proud of your culture and where you come from, of course.
Yeah.
But to get really excited about like Canada.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate living, like, last time I was here, I had just gotten back from Europe and I'd been in Croatia. And coming back, I found out that there was a petition that was sent to their government that got enough signatures to be, like, looked at seriously. I don't know if they're really doing anything with it. But it was basically this movement to take away basic human rights from minorities in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. There's a lot of that going on in Europe now. Italy just elected a really right-wing.
Populism.
Yeah. Everything's swinging back the other way. Or Canada's on the one side. Like, as ridiculous as Trump seems to liberal-minded people is how ridiculous Trudeau seems to conservative people. Like, if the conservative Americans are listening to Trudeau talk, they're like, this guy's out of his head, right? Like, this guy's absolute. And both of them are full of shit. Because neither one is real.
Well, they're a politician. They're just this figurehead that has to just...
Yeah.
It's just what you have a problem with is the system and the people running that person's government, really. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
I do also have a problem with Trump, who says, like, really stupid, horrible things. I just want to, like, punch him, sort of, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
kind of want to do that. But that's aside from the fact of politics-wise, like,
Yeah,
you
it's just
disagree
his-
with the whole thing, not just him.
And then you wonder how, you do have to actually kind of wonder, like, how much of it are we being taken on a ride? and like how much of it's the things that we're being told, like even that our country's the best, right? Like let's say Canada being like the pride of living in the country. Everyone talks about it, you know. Everyone like I hear a lot like the whole Tim Hortons hockey, like
Yeah, I don't
like
care about that.
this is who we are and
That's
blah blah blah.
fucking embarrassing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's
you
hard.
don't-
But
that's not-
that's the part that bugs me. But that's the kind of the image they're trying to get everyone to buy into, right? And then that's where I'm like I'm out because I don't want to be told what it means to be like what I am. And then and then there's like another part of it that's just like you've never been anywhere else, so you don't know anything else, and then they just tell you it's good, and then how do you know it's bad?
Do you ever have the feeling, I don't know, I get it all the time too, where when you do go somewhere, whether it be the States or over, Europe or anywhere,
Yeah,
and then you come back home and are you ever like
happy to be home.
oh man, I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
happy
every
to
time
be
I go to
home.
the States, I'm happy to be home.
That's for me when I drive back over the border. It's like, fuck, I'm so glad I'm home.
Yeah, me too.
Every time.
Every time I leave the States and come back home, I'm happy. But I don't know. I think I just got to go to more places. I'm sure there's countries out there that are like way worse, but I don't.
But there's probably ones you might like better.
I think we might be just like average.
Yeah.
Like an average country.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment. As far as what I can see, what I've looked at, I think that from what you would like from a country, this place is probably just average.
Yeah, it's like kick
So
ass.
things you could change, and there are countries that would have those things that you want.
You know the most
and the ones that
important
don't.
thing that I lived in the States for getting on 4 years, right? I think the thing that I appreciate about Canada, it's not I'm proud of the fact that I was born within these stupid ass lines. It's more to do with the fact that we're really consistent for the most part, right? Everything's kind of just, and it just kind of stays that way. This guy gets in office, it kind of goes like this just a little tiny bit because we're all really, really reasonable people. That's a good thing. That's something to be proud of, but not on a level where you think you're better. This idea of populism, which means sort of my population against your population, and we need to be insulated. So Trump being America first. Fuck you. Fuck your mother. Fuck your trade. Fuck your everything. America rules. America number one. USA. USA is populism. I don't buy that for a second because borders are dumb as far as I'm concerned. Nationalism is a little dumb. It's a little dumb. But to go somewhere else and get some perspective, which I managed to get. When I lived in Boston, the first year I got there was within the first year was the year anniversary of the Boston bombing. Right? Which was I could throw a rock and hit that spot where the bomb went off. So I was walking to class and I saw dudes like National Guard with like giant ass 4-foot-long machine guns just kind of walking around.
Yeah, but doesn't
which
that get...
I had never really seen here.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot less volatile. There's the margin of error for shit going horribly wrong is a lot smaller.
Yeah, but normally we just see the States, though, is my point. Like we would just see the States.
Canadian pride is we're not as fucked as them. Ha ha.
Yeah, that's about all we got.
Absolutely.
And they got like 10 times as many people, so it's way harder to take care of than it is ours. We have like, there's a cakewalk. It's like it's so small.
And we love to ignore things that Canada has done wrong that makes Canada and America actually very similar.
Yeah.
Like
Not necessarily ignore.
Well, a lot of people like to ignore it, like the genocide that happened in Canada, right?
Yeah, and I went with my family to Ottawa to the National Museum at New Year's, and my eyes were open to a bunch of bad stuff we did, and they put it in the museum though, to their credit, like how they had a tax on immigrants who were non-white, and they didn't even allow Jews to immigrate at all until I think after the Second World War with the refugee stuff.
And there were
internment
camps here, Japanese internment camps here as well, weren't they? Like
during the Second World War.
During that war as well.
And that shit is starting to come back, which really makes me upset.
What?
That brown people go away thing, that whole thing is coming. It's coming back.
Yeah,
in a big
in
way.
a big way.
Well, no. What do you mean it's coming back?
It's coming back as in populism is like in Europe.
Oh, you're right.
seeing a lot of that.
Well, that's because of immigration, because they can't. They have so many people coming from Syria.
Absolutely.
That
And
they can't stop it. It would be like, I always think about it, was like if you're in Delhi, right? It's a town of like 5,000 people, and all of a sudden you lend in 20,000 immigrants from Syria into Delhi.
Sure.
Right? And then all of a sudden everything that you grew up knowing that looks this way Delhi looked is going to look different, like right away.
Sure.
And everything is for that. That's just a rate of change that's too much, even for the most open-minded person to deal with. Like that's rate of change is too quick, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just think that's what they're dealing with in Europe now. It's because there's such a large change of people coming in, and like Germany's the one that's going through the most.
Yeah,
and
but
then
this is where your government, what you're paying them to do, is implement their immigration policy in such a way that you can spread out people in a proper fashion instead of just dump them all into the major city and have everything get all fucked up.
Yeah, but I have a buddy of mine that ended up getting a house for these refugees from Africa, and he bought a house for him in Seaforth. It's like a shitty little town too, and then they were like, they showed up there and they got a nice house. It's like great for him, but they didn't recognize any of the faces. Like it didn't look like anybody that they were used to seeing.
Sure.
They didn't hear anyone speaking the language they're used to hearing. No one had the same beliefs as them. And then they went to Toronto one time and they saw a whole bunch of people from the Sudan or wherever they're from.
Sure.
And then they felt at home. So they were like, well, we're going to give up our house to go live with people with our community.
That makes a lot of sense. But you see, like a couple of generations ago, you have people coming in from Italy or wherever, right? And it kind of takes a generation or two.
Yeah, one time through the school system, I think, is that all it takes, and everyone's
right.
everyone's the same.
And you're properly assimilated, and and sometimes you find that, like in Toronto, you've got like your little pocket where you can find legitimate Italian food or a legitimate Italian culture, and you get these little sub pockets that are really cool. But you have to pay your government to take care of it properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because if there's too much, it's too, like, because it doesn't matter what. That's what when people say the brown people or whatever right now are the ones that are like everyone's against them. It's just because they're the biggest influx of immigrants. Right. When the Europeans were immigrating, like when the Irish came over, they hated Irish. There was no blacks, no dogs, no Irish signs, you know, because
some of the people who are saying brown people coming over right now are like descendants of the people who were being held out of the country at that time.
Exactly,
it's just absurd.
Even around here, we have a lot of Mennonites. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. I'm sorry, I interrupted you too.
Yeah, but even here, the Mennonites, they're like one generation that they're through, and then nobody's going to notice the difference just because they came from Mexico or whatever, and they have a different culture that they haven't yet assimilated with ours yet. One generation, then nobody notices the difference, and it's just a matter of trivia that they were from Mexico originally.
But you have to look at things like this from a 360-degree angle, and I think the issue with this populism thing and the issue with these people saying this is a problem is they're looking at it from one way. They're looking at it saying they're all coming at the same time. We don't know how to adapt. This is a fucking problem. Get the fuck out. Not how can we make this smoother for everyone. Right? Which is a multivariate analysis, which people are pretty
it's hard.
too stupid to do.
A lot of what people want to say too is that, we should give money to all these different people, but they don't actually look at the social programs that are already in place for all the people they say need money. Like there's actually already money going to all these people. And there's also a bunch of people who have like nothing for them right now. This woman, I work in a restaurant in Paris, Ontario. So this woman came in and was waiting for her takeout, and this was a while ago. So this was like Trudeau was taking some kids from the sick kids to see like the new Star Wars movie, whatever, just some like PR thing. And she's like, "Oh, what's Trudeau doing now?" And I'm like, "I don't care." And she's like, "Oh, taking out some sick kids." And I think they were from Syria. They were like immigrants that were in sick kids. So they were like, they'd seen so much. It was probably so cool to go see the Star Wars movie with some
house blew up or something crazy.
Oh my God, some immigrant kids looking for a free ride, and I was just like, okay, no.
A free ride to see Star Wars.
A free ride from the sick kids to see Star Wars, like.
Come from a war-torn country to a children's hospital
with cancer
to have to spend 2 hours with Trudeau.
Ugh.
It's like you
And
keep
she
getting
doesn't want.
tortured.
She doesn't want 2
Stop
hours with
taking
Trudeau
photos
anyway.
with me.
She was shit talking him, and then she.
And then she just comes from a war zone, and like Star Wars is really a lot of explosions and
Well,
war, isn't it too?
But
All
for
of a sudden
little
the
kids, it's
start-
exciting. It's not. It's probably not really
PTSD.
like that.
I bet
Maybe
she's-
some kids,
Trudeau
but
probably traumatized that poor kid. Dick. Just for his photo op. I'm sorry. No, I'm just being the same as that old lady. Anyways, guys, do you want to play out?
Sure.
You got another one to play us out with? I'd like to thank everyone for coming in this week. Yoney is, again, they're going to be playing at, look them up. Go online, look up Yoney. What's your Facebook page? Is it just Yoney the Man?
Yoney RNB.
Yoney RMB.
RNB.
On Facebook, you can look them up for future dates, or you can go to see them on Canada Day.
We're recording in late August, too, so you can buy a new record probably early 2019.
Awesome. We'll have you in to promote that, too, when it's ready. Yeah. And
Beautiful.
To everyone out there, happy Canada Day. Take care of each other. Tell a friend to listen to our program. And until next week, we will see you, NT. See you next Thursday.
All the things I read when you close your eyes and said, all the things you thought I would rather hear instead of the truth. Was it because I was 22? Well, I know I shouldn't ask. Will you ever listen to these songs? I hope maybe you'll have move further on. Anyway, that words don't come out all wrong. Feeble as when I told you we're done. But the truth, was it because I was 22? Well, I know it's in the past. Could I ever be in your world, set upon a shelf, but not your girl? Someone you can lean on when you're down. I wish I'd be that person now, but the truth, it wasn't because I was 22. And I know I didn't ask. Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for coming back, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Well done.